there, movie buffs, it's me, El Movie Master. It's been a long time since my last video. It's always a long time since my last video. I know I've been promising you guys to showcase my collection. I was supposed to do a review of all the James Bond movies. I just don't have the time. And I shouldn't make promises that I can't keep. I agree. But today I felt like making a video about movies that I personally do not like. These are movies that a lot of people do like, and I don't really understand why they're loved so much, but I do not like them. And I narrowed the list down, because there's a lot of movies that I don't like, that a lot of people do like. But I narrowed it down to 15 movies. 15 movies that I will never be watching again. And keep in mind that the following list is an opinion. If you like these movies, great. All the power to you. It's awesome. But I wish I did, but I don't. So let's start. Number 15. Number 15 is a movie that came out, I think it was around 2007, 2008. I don't remember very well. But this is a movie that a lot of people liked. I mean, a lot of people liked. And they thought it was funny. I still see people quoting this movie. And that movie is Tropic Thunder. I don't like this movie. I don't like it at all. One thing I want to get out of the way. I am not a fan of Ben Stiller. Never liked him. The only movie I liked of his is Meet the Parents. But Tropic Thunder is such a waste. Jack Black was annoying. Ben Stiller was over the top. There's so much going on in this movie, and none of it was funny. Everything was just so corny and so cheesy. The only thing I liked was Robert Downey Jr. He had a couple of, lines that I thought were kind of funny. But other than that, this movie blows. It's not very good. And I know a lot of people quote this movie and they like it, and they think it's really funny. Great, but I saw this in the movie theater when it came out, and I did not laugh at all. I think I chuckled probably 1 or 2 times. And that was it. Number 14. Now this movie, I don't think a lot of people know a lot about this movie, but whenever I look at reviews of it, everyone seems to like it. People have recommended this film before. They tell me it's a very good sci-fi film, and the movie is Strange Days. This movie, I recently saw it and I hated it. I really, really hated this movie. It was so boring. It was uninspiring. It's supposed to be very edgy, and the whole story of the film is there's a way to actually experience, virtual reality. You have this thing you put on and you can experience other people's memories and stuff. That aspect was interesting, but it was so poorly executed. I didn't care about any of the characters. There was so much exposition, and there was twists and turns that by the end of the movie, I didn't care about anything. So I really hated this movie. It came out in the late 90s. It came out I think 95, 96, and it takes place in New Year's Eve. It's heavily dated. It did not work for me at all. Number 13. This movie, I was a kid when this movie came out, so I had heard throughout the years how great this movie is and how, it has a great soundtrack. And it has a very famous song from Whitney Houston. And you're probably already guessing what movie that is. And that movie is The Bodyguard. God, this movie is boring as fuck. It's not only this boring, I cannot stand Kevin Costner. Kevin Costner makes a lot of boring movies. One of the biggest things for me, you can make a movie cheesy, corny, and as long as it's entertaining, you got me as a viewer. The worst thing you can do in a movie is to be boring. And Kevin Costner does that in every single movie. He has made good movies. He's made movies like Dances with Wolves. I can't think of another one, but he's done other movies that are okay. But this one is not okay for me. The chemistry between him and Whitney Houston is non-existent. It felt so forced. I've seen a better version of this movie with Jet Li, which is the bodyguard from Beijing. In that movie, I accepted the whole love between the bodyguard and the person he's protecting. But in here, I did not buy it. Whitney Houston was great with music, not so much with acting. And I know a lot of people like this movie. I've seen it in several people's collections, and I just don't get it. Number 12. I saw this movie kind of late. I didn't see this movie when it first came out, during the craze of this film. I remember I was probably 10 or 11 when this movie came out, and that's the Blair Witch Project. I'm not a fan of found footage. Never have been. The only found footage movie that I like is Wreck and Cloverfield. Other than that, I don't like found footage films. I think they're just a cheesy way, a cheap way to get money. It's just, you got a couple of cameras, make it for a couple $1,000, and they become huge hits. And Blair Witch Project was the first movie to do that. It was the first movie to be, innovative and whatever. I don't understand how this movie became so popular. I saw it a couple of years ago, and nothing happens. For a large chunk of the movie, nothing happens. They just mention stuff, but nothing really happens in the movie. Nothing is scary. It hasn't aged well at all, and I just don't get how this movie was so edgy and popular when it came out. I really hate this movie. I don't understand why people even say the sequel is terrible. Shit, the first one wasn't good at all either, so I don't know what you're talking about. Both movies suck, 1 and 2. Number 11. Now, this movie, if I'm not mistaken, was either nominated for an Oscar for Best Picture or one of the actors was nominated. One of the two. I don't understand why, because this movie was so bad. A lot of people love it. I don't. I wanted to like this movie. And that's Silver Linings Playbook. Wow. This movie took me 2 nights to finish, from what I recall. And I bought it because at the time I had just seen The Hunger Games, and I really liked Jennifer Lawrence's performance in that movie. So I'm like, you know what? I like this chick. I want to watch her other films. And that one was nominated. I saw it, hated it. I cannot buy Jennifer Lawrence playing an adult character. It always looks like she's playing pretend. Even in American Hustle, which I liked a little bit more, which is from the same director, I forget his name, I think it's something with Russell. In that movie, she also doesn't work playing an adult. I know she's like around my age, she's like in her late 20s. But when I see her in The Hunger Games, great, I believe her character. But in Silver Linings Playbook, she plays a bipolar person, and it just comes off as really corny. I just can't believe her character. Even Bradley Cooper is annoying in this movie. And, what's this guy's name? It's not Chris Rock. It's, Chris Tucker's in this movie for whatever reason. I don't remember why. The only good aspect of Silver Linings Playbook was Robert De Niro. He was great in the movie. There's a scene where he's, pouring his heart out to his son, explaining that he wants a moment with his son. That scene was great. If the rest of the movie was like that, I would have stuck around and watched the rest of the film. But it took me so long. It took me 2 nights. I can watch any type of movie and just watch it in one sitting, but this one took me 2 nights. It was boring, uninspiring, and the last scene with the whole dance was just stupid. I really hated it. So, number 10. Now, this is a comedy that, again, a lot of people liked when it came out, and people still love it. They say it's its best film. And that is Borat. Fuck. This movie was not funny at all. I saw it in theaters, made a mistake, and I paid full price. I should have gotten a refund for it. I sat there like an idiot. I didn't laugh at all. It was fucking stupid. I don't understand why people love this movie so much. There's nothing hilarious about it. It's just a fucking idiot, saying, I don't even want to do his accent because it brings back flashbacks of how terrible this movie was. Anyway, the only Sacha Baron Cohen movie that I thought was passable was A Dictator. But that one was okay. This one is just, not that it's offensive, because you can make an offensive movie. I'm not someone who gets offended easily. I just thought every single line in the movie was just cheesy, corny, and stupid. And it was pointless. So, there. Borat. Fuck you. Number 9. Now, this is a sci-fi movie that people swear by. People love this movie. I don't understand how this is the highest grossing movie of all time. I still don't fucking get it, and that's Avatar. The fuck? You know, there's some people who claim this is James Cameron's best movie. Really? The guy who made Terminator 2, Aliens, you know, The Abyss, even The Abyss, which is one of his underrated films, you're gonna tell me that Avatar's better than that? Fuck you, man. Avatar was terrible. Really bad CGI. I've heard that it was great watching it in 3D, but that doesn't substitute for such a terrible story, which is literally pretty much Pocahontas in space. It's Pocahontas, Dances with Wolves, The New World, all that shit. It's the same type of story. But somehow people bought into it, and it became the highest grossing movie of all time. And we're going to get 3 sequels from like 2017 to 2022. Why? We don't need Avatar. Anyway. Number 8. This is another sci-fi movie that I saw in theaters, and I really, really wanted to like this movie. You have no idea how disappointed I was. This is coming from a director like James Cameron, who is talented, and he's proven to us that he can make good movies. And that is Prometheus. Prometheus was supposed to tell us a story of the origins of Alien. And Alien is one of my favorite sci-fi movies. I love Alien. I love pretty much the whole Alien franchise. With the exception of Alien Resurrection and Alien vs. Predator Requiem. Those are shit. But Prometheus, it starts off pretty decently. It starts off pretty good. Once they get to the planet, and you have these morons who are supposed to be scientists poking at little creatures they have no fucking clue about, the movie goes apeshit. It goes downhill really, really bad. I didn't care about anybody. I was like, good. Hopefully everyone dies and no one survives. There's just so many plot holes with this film. The scene where she has a surgery. How the hell is she running about with no problems at all? I just did not like this movie. I know a lot of people love it, and it's fine if you do. I just couldn't get myself to like this movie. And I've had that syndrome of, I bought the movie because I still own Prometheus. Because I'm a completist. I love Alien, and I bought it, and I've seen it twice since its release. And every single time, I'm like, God, this movie sucks. And it's well filmed. That's one of the good aspects of Prometheus. It's nicely shot, great visual effects, unlike Avatar, which the effects are shit. In Prometheus, the effects are really good, it's well shot. It's just the script was garbage. Number 7, another comedy that was highly regarded. People said it was hilarious, one of the best movies of the year in terms of comedy. I hated it. And this movie is MacGruber. Whoa. I got on a rant with a friend who told me this movie was, hilarious. She told me this movie is probably one of the most hilarious films, top 5. This movie was stupid. The character of MacGruber was annoying. It's supposed to be like making fun of, like a parody of MacGyver, and it just doesn't work. What the hell is Val Kilmer doing in this movie? There's a stupid sex scene in the movie that it's supposed to be hilarious and edgy. I thought it was stupid. I don't get it. If you like it, great for you. I just did not like this movie at all. Number 6. Again, another comedy. There's a lot of comedies. The 2 biggest things you can do is make a movie boring and make an unfunny movie that's supposed to be funny. And this movie, I have mixed feelings about it. There's some aspects of it that I do like, but for the most part, the hatred overpowers the good. And that is My Cousin Vinnie. This movie was recommended to me several times over the years, telling me that Joe Pesci is hilarious. And Joe Pesci is hilarious. He's great in Eight Heads and Duffel Bag, Home Alone, even in Casino and all those movies, because he has a certain persona that, you laugh at. What's so funny about me? Tell me, what's so funny? I can't impersonate Joe Pesci, I'm sorry. But My Cousin Vinnie, he's supposed to play a lawyer who hasn't gotten his license yet. He hasn't passed the bar exam, and he's helping out his cousin who was confused with someone else. That's all fine. But once Marissa Tomei comes into this movie, I hated her character so much. I wanted to kill her. It was just so annoying. Everything just becomes so dismissible. Like, it's just the way he wins the case. I just couldn't buy it. I know it's supposed to be a comedy, and you're supposed to suspend disbelief, it's just supposed to laugh, but for the most part, I wasn't laughing. The chemistry between him and Marissa Tomei, I didn't like it. I liked the scenes with him and the judge. Those scenes were funny, but the rest of the movie, I just didn't like. And I know a lot of people love this movie, they quote this film, it's considered a cult classic. I don't like it. I'm sorry. Now, we're going to the 5 most hated movies on my list that everyone likes, and it's fine if you like them. I'm telling you, it's because it's completely opinion. Because there's movies that I like that everyone hates, and I'm going to be doing that video soon. But the next 5 movies I hate with a passion. You have no clue. If you name these movies, I'm going to disappear. I'm going to go like this and just disappear. These movies, I don't like them. Number 5. This is a movie that everyone, and I mean everyone, has seen by now, and I hate it. The first time I saw it, I was kind of okay with it, but in subsequent viewings, whether not by choice, because sometimes when you go to a kid's birthday party, or just someone wants to see the movie, it gets annoying, and you've heard the song hundreds of times. And that movie is Frozen. Frozen. I hate this movie. I really do. I understand this is a kid's movie, and I like Disney movies. I own most of the classic Disney movies. But this movie has nothing special going for it. Nothing. It's really just most of the same crap you've seen in other Disney movies, just reshaped a little bit. Same, characters singing while explaining the plot to you. I don't like this movie. A lot of people do, and it's fine, but I don't see anything special about it. There was another movie that came out that same year and lost the nomination, and that was The Wind Rises, which I did a review on. That was a great animated film, but of course, it's an animated film for adults. It has a mature story, and of course, the little kiddie film won, and that was Frozen. So yeah, I don't like this movie at all. Number 4. Now, people are going to hate me for this. They're going to really hate me for this movie because I've seen this movie several times. I actually still own it. And there's certain aspects of the movie that I do like, but for the most part, it's not a good movie. I have had conversations with people about it hundreds of times, and everyone keeps telling me, no, it's a great movie, man. You just don't get it. You just don't get it. And that movie is 300. Yes, 300. I'm not a fan of Zack Snyder. Never have, never will. This movie, when it first came out, everyone was talking about how edgy and stylish it was. The whole movie is shot on a green screen, and it shows. I don't understand the love for this movie. It's just a lot of slow-mo shots, the only thing I got out of this movie was that I wanted to get in shape. I wanted to look like those guys, with the six-pack. And I found out most of them, not all of them, were in great shape. Some of them had the abs painted onto them. The first time I saw it, I didn't like it because of the fact that it's not very accurate to the 300 Spartans. And now I know the whole background. It's based on a graphic novel and all that stuff. But I still can't get myself to like this movie. No one talks in this movie. Everyone screams, "We are Spartans! We're going to kill everyone!" I don't know what the lines are in the movie, but everyone's screaming throughout the movie. It just annoys the fuck out of me. So yeah, there, 300. Number 3. Now, there's people who really, really, really swear by this movie, and there's other people who don't like it. It's kind of mixed. I've seen some reviewers who, I won't name their names, and I actually love their reviews. And they love this movie. There's someone, I won't say the name, he loves this movie so much that he felt it inspired him to become, a movie critic, and he wants to make, feature films. That's great. That's all the power to you. I'm glad that that's a movie that you like. But I do not like this movie at all. At all. And that movie is Signs. I don't care how many explanation videos are out there online explaining how intelligent this movie is, that, oh, you just didn't understand it, man. You're just not smart enough to understand this movie. There's not much to understand. This movie's just stupid. There's really not... There's... God, let me get my thoughts straight here. You have aliens who are coming from gajillion miles away. And their weakness is water. Water. So you're coming to a planet that's, majorly covered in water? Really? There's videos explaining that, well, maybe they had not encountered water before. Fuck you, man. Then there's the whole other aspect of they can't open pantry doors. They can build a spaceship with, really advanced technology, but they can't open a single door. The other problem I have, aside those plot holes, is the way the characters talk in this film. There's a lot of expository dialogue. There's a lot of Quentin Tarantino dialogue, where people talk about stuff that has nothing to do with the plot of the film. And the other problem I have is that the adults act like children, and the children act like adults. It's so annoying. You always have that smart kid, that creepy kid, I know more than everyone here in this film. I don't like this movie, and it sucks because a lot of people claim that M. Night Shyamalan got really bad after The Village. I think he got bad right after he made this. Once he made this film, everything else after that pretty much sucked. I still haven't seen his newest film, what's it called? The Visit. I haven't seen that one yet. But everything he's done, outside of Sixth Sense and Unbreakable, is pretty much garbage. And this is the one that I hate the most, Signs. Number 2, I really do not like this movie. I don't. The movie is, I think it was nominated, or won an award, one of the two. That movie is The English Patient. Jesus fucking Christ. This movie is boring. So boring. Like I said, the worst two sins you can do in a movie for me is be boring and unfunny when you're supposed to be funny. You can be cheesy and still, be entertaining, but this movie is just boring. The whole story is about an affair in a fucking desert where nothing happens. For 3 freaking hours, nothing really happens. A love story that has no chemistry. I didn't care for Ray Fiennes' character. I didn't care for the woman that he was with. She dies in the desert. I was like, thank God, this movie needs to end. But no, there's still more left. There's a scene where this guy literally crosses the whole desert, goes back to a town, and he has no blisters. His skin's perfectly fine after days walking in a desert. And then when he comes back to get his little girlfriend, he finds her dead. How are you not surprised? You left her in a freaking cave. This movie, I really, a lot of people love it. They're saying it's one of the most romantic films. It's boring. I watched it 3 times, trying to convince myself maybe it's a good movie because it's well shot. It's really well shot. It has a nice score, but it's just uninspiringly boring. Now, my number 1 hated movie that everyone seems to love, but I just can't get myself to like. And again, a lot of people are going to hate me for this movie. That's Birdman. This movie won Best Picture. Best fucking picture. I don't get it. I don't get it. This movie was bad. Jesus Christ. Oh, excuse me. Birdman. I saw the trailer and it seemed like it was going to be a good movie. I saw this in theaters. Hated it. The movie is well shot. I'll give it that. The whole idea of making it look like it's one take, marvelous. Great. The whole thing about, seeing it from the perspective of how it is for an actor trying to get back on their feet. Awesome. What I hated about this movie was the characters. No one was likable. I didn't like anybody. Everyone was an asshole to everyone. Everyone was egotistic. No one was likable. Everyone was just doing mean shit to everyone. Didn't care for it. The ending was even stupid. Oh, it's so avant-garde, the ending, you know. You don't know, it's all left to interpretation. Bullshit! The movie was garbage. I don't get it. I'm sorry I'm getting upset here, but this movie... Michael Keaton, he's a good actor, and he did a great performance in this movie, but I didn't care for his character. Everyone, like, and Emma Stone, Emma Stone, I don't know. I think I just realized now that I don't like Emma Stone either. Something about her I just don't like. I don't know if it's her big eyes, and the skinnier she gets, her eyes get bigger. Maybe she should have been the one playing Spider-Man in the Amazing Spider-Man 2. Anyway, Birdman. If you like Birdman, great. I know a lot of people love this movie. Everyone who I've explained to that, you know, I still haven't found someone who disliked this movie. For the most part, this movie is beloved. You know, everyone says it's exquisitely well made. And that's great. But I don't. So those are the 15 movies I got out of my system, finally. 15 movies that I do not like, but people do, and that's great. I'll be doing another list of movies that I like, that I do like genuinely, but people don't. So stick around for that one. Until next time.